Hi, welcome to Adventures with Reid and Tiff. My name is Reid, and today I'm going to talk about the second week worth of Advent Calendar gifts from Geartrade. So that would be from December 8th to December 14th. Geartrade.ca is ultralight gear distributor. They're located in Alberta, Canada, and so if you're a Canadian, you're able to get ultralight gear for a good price, but also without duties, and if you buy enough, with free shipping, which is nice because a lot of the other options come from the States and would cost quite a bit more to bring up to Canada. And for anyone that's watching from other countries, I think they do ship to other countries, and you might be able to take advantage of the weak Canadian dollar against other currencies to get some good deals. So Geartrade, I've been shopping at for a while. This isn't a sponsored video. This was just something which, when the Advent Calendar was advertised for this year, I thought that's a really cool item to get, as well as I figured that it would be pretty small items, and therefore a lot of the items that I haven't necessarily purchased myself because a lot of the small ones are things that, unless you try it out, you don't really know what their value is, and it might not look like the value on to buy it. So everything came in this small box. They luckily shipped them out nice and early to avoid the Canada Post strike. So I got it. The only problem with it coming early is I did start to open the gifts a little bit early, but one per day in order to stick with the Advent calendar theme. The last thing is that this actually, proceeds from this partially go to support some charities. So there is the Great Divide Trail Association, Alberta Diabetes Foundation, and I Challenge Diabetes that Geartrade does give a portion of the proceeds to. So that's great. That's a cool extra little thing to make it that much better. So I did something similar to this for December 1st to 7th last week. So if you'd like to check that out, check out the video here. Otherwise, I'm going to go through December 8th to 14th now and give sort of my first impressions of the items and what I think of them. Overall, it was a pretty good week. And so starting with December 8th, December 8th was the Spud Stick Stashers. So online, these were $37.99 if they were bought separately. What they are basically, if you haven't seen them on other YouTube channels, one side connects onto your pack, and then the other side goes onto your trekking pole. And then whenever you want to stash them, there's a very strong magnet on this. I haven't used them, but supposedly because of how strong the magnet is, it's actually pretty easy to get your poles back on there. This is cool. I'll try them out. I don't really know if over the long term I'll actually use them, because you are adding some weight onto your pack, and I just don't stash my trekking poles enough. But there would be some trips where, if you're scrambling a lot, maybe that's a bonus and something that would make it worthwhile. My trips are generally either I use trekking poles or I don't, not that I'm putting them back and forth. On December 9th is the Dirt Saw Deuce number 2. So this is a lightweight aluminum shovel. It is 17 grams. If you're already into backpacking or an ultralight camper, you probably already have a trowel. So that's something I would say about this Advent calendar, is there are going to be some items that you already have, or you have something that you chose instead of these items. So if you do, just try and find someone else to give them to in order to make sure that things aren't going into the trash. I use the Vargo Dig as mine. I don't need to use it necessarily too much for digging cat holes, because most of the places in this area require you to use things like thunderboxes, outhouses, etc. But I like it because if I ever need to use it, I can dig a hole. Otherwise, it's a very strong tent stake, and the cleat around it helps to attach to your guy line. So I leave a stake behind and have this as sort of if there's really a lot of wind, then this is going in. But this is a nice and light trowel in comparison. This is 17 grams. This one is 34 grams. So there's definitely some difference in weight there. And since I don't use a spade that much, I might end up taking the small one just to save some grams. On December 10th, this one is going to be useful to pretty much anyone that is a backpacker because it's repair items. So for the repair patches, the mesh patches, those were $9.95, and then the repair tape was $8.95. I have the repair tape, but it's a consumable. I will eventually have used up the repair tape, and then we'll replace it with this. And then the mesh patches, luckily, they don't need to get used very often, but when they do, these come in very handy. So I'll keep these around, and when I need them, I have them. So I'm happy with that day. For December 11th, it's a little item. It's the Bottle Genius sticker. So this was $4.99 on their website. And you just stick this on the side of your smart water bottle or whatever type of water bottle you use so that you can measure the volumes of water. It's got it in milliliters and ounces. So that could be very useful. I generally just use my pot, which is not necessarily that accurate. So I'll give this a shot. Maybe I'll end up enjoying this, but I don't know if this would be something that I would purchase on my own. Again, this is the great part about the Advent Calendar, is that it gives you things that you wouldn't necessarily buy on your own and lets you try them out. For December 12th, these ones will get used immediately. There are 3 different sizes of the smelly proof bags. So these are reusable, basically reusable Ziplocs. They're bigger zippers, heavier duty plastic. Like these are 3 mil plastic, and they keep smells out. So that's good for especially very smelly foods. But overall, I just like them because it means that there will be more plastic bags that I'll be reusing. I reuse my Ziplocs as long as I possibly can, but these are definitely more robust, and so these should last longer. So I'm happy with that. And if each one of these ones, the small sandwich bag and large, were bought separately, it'd be about $6 on their website. And then on December 13th, this is going to depend on if I end up changing around my spade. This is the Jericho Gear, the driver, so it works with the deuce. So it has a groove that this goes into, so it gives you that hand protection on the top. You can also, there's also a hole in the bottom for you to use to force a stake into the ground. It's 16 grams, so I just don't think that I will, I'll add this on because it is adding weight, and one of the benefits of the Dig is that it's bent over so that it's easier on your hand anyways. And for stakes, I don't really use my hand that much to force the stakes in. If it's tough ground, I'll use a rock to hammer it in, or if it's not as tough, I'll usually use my shoe. Or lots of situations I go on, you can't put any stakes into the ground, you're finding rocks to stake out your tent with. So I'm not sure if that part of it would be that useful. And then the December 14th, so the driver was $6.99, and then for December 14th, the Common Gear Ultralight Repair Kit, which was $19.99 on their website. This one I've actually looked at before and was considering whether or not to buy it, because I have I have all of these items in my pack anyways, but not in as nice a little package. So it's got some Kevlar tape, Kevlar thread. So I guess the thread I have is not Kevlar, so that's cool. And some Gorilla tape. And then inside this little area, there are 2 needles for the thread. So that's cool. I'll definitely use that, and I'll just sub out some of my other items. The one funny thing though is that this contradicts the tenacious tape that was earlier in the week, because I don't think I would take both tenacious tape and Gorilla tape, or just a very small piece of tenacious tape instead of more of it, because the Gorilla tape's on here. So overall, really happy with this. Glad that I got that. So obviously the gear itself was interesting, but if you're looking at this of whether or not financially this was worth it, this box was $300 Canadian. I'll convert everything to American dollars down below. And if you were to divide 300 by the 24 days, that's about $12.50 per day for what the value of the gift should be to break even, or $87.50 for the week. But the value of this week was $125, so considerably more value than what was paid for the Advent calendar. So I think that's really cool too, that you're able to get a lot of good stuff at a great price. So far I'm really enjoying this Advent calendar. If you like this, please subscribe, please like the video, please comment, because we are trying to grow this channel. And also check out some of our other videos too, including the first week of the Advent calendar. And if you're watching this a little bit later in December or into next year, then you'll be able to see the 3rd and 4th week of the Advent calendar opening too. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.